Now you'll see what I see.
God help us. Let this be okay.
Amen.
Amen. Hi, welcome to Film Therapy. This week we are looking at the movie Don't Breathe, directed by Fede Alvarez from the Evil Dead remake fame.
Yes, very, very talented young filmmaker. Big fan of the blood.
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Who sneezed? That reminds us. Yeah, you may notice that the couch is a little less crammed this week. That's because our team member, Zach, is actually sitting off camera, sneezing, and he's very ill.
He's got the swine flu.
So our audience must be asking themselves, "Don't Breathe. What is this movie about?" And that's where we're going to help them out with a little segment we like to call. Kyle, I feel like you always start, and you always take a good bit, so I'm going to start this week. All right. So Don't Breathe is a movie about 3 bank robbers. Let me back up. Don't Breathe is a movie. Let me back up. So, Don't Breathe is a movie where it follows 3 young individuals who are falling on hard times and go about collecting money through robbing houses. And one house they decide to close in on is that of a blind veteran.
Everything seems to be going according to plan, but they soon realize that this blind veteran is much more than meets the eye.
It's a fucking transformer.
Yeah, it's pretty much the movie. I don't know, guys.
Dude, tell them there's a twist that they will be talking about on Monday.
There's a fucking twist that you will be talking about Monday morning. All right, guys. This is called the Don't Breathe contest. We saw this movie the whole time. We were like, people, they just keep breathing. Right. So we're going to show you how long we cannot breathe. All right, on my count of 3, we're all going to stop breathing forever.
Okay.
Well, until we, yeah.
What do we win?
You win that fucking cat that's off camera.
Okay, off camera cat.
3, 2, 1.
Is it possible to talk without breathing? I think I could do it. Unless it's seeping in. I breathe.
Oh, God. Nate won?
Did I?
I'm pretty sure you won, Nate.
I was gonna. Yeah, I won.
Woo!
Our winner, our new...
Someone get that off-camera
that pussy.
cat. I'll digitally impose it. There you go.
Oh.
You guys are seeing us go through some stuff.
Right.
Seeing us experience some stuff. Something I experienced personally during the film is in the marketing. They were talking about how it's the twist that you will be talking about on Monday. So I was looking for this twist. And in my head, even a little bit into the movie, I was going, they're going to tie it into another franchise. They are. They're going to tie this movie into an existing franchise.
Nate, did you have that feeling?
Yes.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yes.
I am the only one out of the 3 here.
I had that inkling that they were going to do that. It wasn't the case, but this is a little segment we're going to call What If It Was Part of a Franchise That Already Exists. Yeah, we're going to go around.
Rolls right off the tongue.
We're going to go around and pitch what franchise we think this would have existed in and explain a little bit. So, Bryn, you have one in mind?
I do. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned it being part of the franchise. I don't know if it's because of like the success of 10 Cloverfield Lane, but every time like we see like such a, because this movie like seemed simple on the surface, I'm like, there's more to this. So I was convinced this was some sort of connection to the Bridget Jones Diary movies. And I honestly was, I waited till after the credits because I was sure Renée Zellweger was going to pop in. And
they all just looked like her. Like, I just assumed they were her children.
Right. I was confused. I guess his name's Stephen Lang. I thought it was Colin Firth that was playing the blind man. But it was just a big underwhelming finale for me.
Yeah.
Hey, what did you have?
I need some time.
Okay. Okay. My thought was I expected this blind man. 5 minutes into the movie, they get into his house. I was like, he's just gonna slit their throats, go into his bedroom, fall asleep. You see him start moving around a little bit, and then it just shows his street, and it pans up, and they're on fucking Elm Street. And then the dude wakes up blind, but being attacked by Freddy Krueger. But then he can't tell. He can't see him. He's not scared.
Right.
He's an Army veteran. He's very strong. He can fight Freddy Krueger. So, know what happens when they start fighting? They're equals. They're equals, guys. Trust me. They're pushing back and forth, and all of a sudden, the tension builds too much. They kiss. We see love for the first time for Freddy Krueger.
House lights dim. Applause.
Yes. Erections high in the air, and then they lower after a few moments.
How fucking great would it be if like the sign just said Cloverfield Lane? You're just like, God damn it, again! Like, another one. Like,
They're all neighbors.
Right. I feel like Hollywood should just have like this secret, like hidden, like every movie has an alternate ending where like they're just happen to be on Cloverfield Lane. Like,
I've like always wondered like if a movie would do that. Like, what if like the end of say Mystic River, all of a sudden like Bill and Ted just walk through, and it's just like, what the fuck? Like, are they, they're in San Dimas? Like, it would just be the weirdest shit. Like, just tie in two random ass movies that like have no correlation at all.
Right. You have to catch up with, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I think that's the best way to do it.
I think so.
Tying everything together.
I think critics would have, questioned Eastwood's choice to add Bill and Ted at first, but I think the culture would have.
Oh yeah, it would have been a.
Keanu could have finally got his Oscar performance there.
All right. All right. You should have got it for Bram Stoker's Dracula, but
Yes.
it's
So
not
Nate, do you have a pitch for what you thought this franchise would have been?
Yeah. So I thought they were gonna break into the house, right? They're gonna struggle with this blind veteran and wonder just how does he have so many skills? Like, how is he able to, combat us and be a threat? I thought they were gonna go into his room, hide in his closet, and see like a Daredevil costume, and it was just gonna be Ben Affleck's Daredevil.
That's good.
Oh,
That's
but
good.
like
It's
10,
stereotypical,
20
but
years
it's
later.
good. I mean,
Right.
you're not helping the blind community any, but
What do you
it's
mean?
fine. Well, I mean, I'm just kidding.
I couldn't think of any other famous blind people in movies. That's terrible. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
All right, so this movie is very tense at times and very unnerving. I think partly is that because of like how good the performances are and how like real the reactions are. But we had the idea of what if we want to make it a little bit more lighthearted? This is a new segment we like to call Cast It Like a Comedy.
Right. Let's see. Who would I pick for Rocky? Melissa McCarthy. It's the Cast It Like a Comedy.
Cast It Like a Comedy.
She's one of the funniest women in comedy right now.
Dude, I can see it now, just her slipping and sliding throughout the house, making a bunch of noise.
Right. Let's see. Will Arnett as Money. Could you see him with the cornrows?
I actually can.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
good casting.
And then let's see the nice guy. What's his name?
Alex.
Sorry, Alex. Who's comedic, but that's gonna come to me. Michael Cera.
Fuck, you took mine.
Did I really?
That's good.
The blind man, Bill Murray.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
dude.
I'm sorry.
That is good.
It's so just picture that movie
That is
and
good.
let it sink in.
So, for me, personally, for Rocky, I'm going to go Meryl Streep.
Oh God.
She's never going to let us down.
No.
Okay.
Would she be playing like
Huh?
a girl that's Rocky's age?
Oh, yeah.
Like she would be pretending to be
Oh,
like
yeah.
20 something? Okay.
There
Just
you
making
go.
sure.
And then,
Let's put the cat in here. Come on, kitty. Yep.
Oh.
sorry, guys. For Alex, I'm going to go Hannibal Buress.
All right.
For money, I'm going to go H. John Benjamin.
Oh, dude, that would be pretty great.
And for the blind man, my final hurrah, I'm going to go David Cronenberg from Nightbreed.
Oh, shit. Oh,
Are
God.
they playing the same character?
Yes,
Just
yes,
blind?
yes,
Okay.
but he's
All right.
blind now.
All right.
Oh, my God, that's incredible.
I can dig it.
So for my comedic cast, I would have to do Kristen Wiig or Kirsten Wiig. Is it Kristen? Hey, Zach, is it Kristen Wiig
Yeah,
or Kirsten?
Kristen.
Where'd that R at? Okay, Kristen.
K-R-I.
Okay.
Kara.
You know, I could see her like doing like funny faces throughout the house and like pretending to like about to drop something like to build the tension, you know, of making noise. I'd get some giggles out of her. For money, I would just have James Franco play the same religion in Spring Breakers.
Oh, God.
Just do the exact same thing again, James. For Alex, like the nice kid, I don't know, Miles Teller. Why not? He's not that funny, but I like him. So
I chose Meryl Streep. I think it's fine. She can be funny.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I like Miles.
Makes me laugh.
And so for the blind man, there's only one like person I think that could handle that sort of like grit and grimace and just like bring a terrifying on-screen presence, and that is Bill Cosby. I think he could be the great
Jesus.
blind man. And I feel like the twist would coincide with him. I mean, it makes sense to. I don't know.
I really enjoyed Don't Breathe. I kind of had some high expectations going in just because of how good the Evil Dead remake was. And I would say this movie met those expectations and probably went up a little bit higher than what I was expecting. It was a very well-directed film. I felt like it was a very tight-knit film. Like there wasn't a lot of subplots or anything going on. It was very focused on, you know, the tension these burglars had throughout their time in this house and the terror that this blind man was inflicting upon him. It was a great film. There was I don't know, I felt like the characters were kind of, as we discussed in the audio podcast, kind of morally ambiguous, but at the same time I was rooting for them, and I was kind of rooting for the blind man up until a certain point.
Right.
But yeah, it was a great film. There was a lot of tension throughout it. It was a great film. I'm going to say that one more time. No. Do I give it a grade now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to give Don't Breathe a B+ because there were some plot issues with it, but I feel like there was such a constant tension throughout it that I kind of overlooked it while I was watching. But afterwards, you know, I started to question some things. But still, great movie, B+.
Cool. Well, on my end, I really enjoyed the movie. I was kind of mildly looking forward to it. Like, I was more interested than anything. I was slightly underwhelmed by the trailer, honestly, off seeing it. But once I actually got to the movie, and I didn't necessarily know what to expect, but I am a fan of Fede Alvarez's work. I was pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed the movie for the most part. There were a few things that I don't know if I more took issue with or just didn't necessarily work for me. I also think I was in a weird mindset. I had just seen Rob Zombie's 31 earlier in the week, so like maybe my idea of horror was a little off going into it. And I mean, that's not me being like Rob Zombie fucked me up like it was a good movie, but yeah, I don't know. For the most part, like I enjoyed it. I thought Stephen Lang as the blind man was great. All the performances were pretty solid. I thought, like you said, they really did show. You just really got to know the house and stuff and build suspense. And then like the twist, I don't know. It was weird how they marketed the twist. And then like I was like, oh fuck. But I guess it wasn't what I was expecting out of the twist necessarily.
Right.
Like for some reason
If you expected
like
that
it
shit, like,
took the plot in pretty much the same direction I was expecting the plot to go. I expected something to just like completely 180 everything and be like, oh fuck, the world is blowing up. Like, you know, just like something completely different if they're gonna market it like that. But like it's fine. But like still, like I'm pointing out these flaws, but I'm really just nitpicking. Like overall, I think it's a very well told story. I think it's shot beautifully. I think it's performed well, written well, directed well. Great, whatever. But
Great, whatever.
yeah, whatever, guys. I mean, but yeah, I do think it's one of the best horror movies I've seen in a while. But still, like with the few things I took issue with, I would give it a B-.
Yeah, I'm also a huge fan of this director's work. Evil Dead Remake was so hardcore and such a great entry into modern horror. And so is this. This movie, it plays almost like a 70s film. It's very claustrophobic, very simple. I mean, most of the film is in just a house. And you feel it. It definitely feels super, tense and tight. And even the shots are usually pretty close up on the actors. Jane Levy does a great job with facial expressions and, her eyes, like she's like a perfect, like modern day, like, scream queen. Yeah, I think this movie is worth seeing if you enjoy horror, and even if you don't, because I think I think the twist is so fucking bizarre. Like I do think people will be talking about it, like what the fuck, like it's not like something where it's out of the blue. It makes sense in the context of the film, but I think the only things I really have to point out or like have, if there's flaws within the film, it's definitely within the writing. I think Fede Alvarez would have benefited from having another writer or having someone else to bounce ideas off of, because there are definitely some plot holes within the film, and it's nothing that makes it a bad film whatsoever. It's just one of those things when you're looking back at the film that you just watched, you're just like, well, why didn't this character do this, or wouldn't they have noticed that? Just simple stuff like that, which I'm sure any horror film it falls into that issue. Overall, I loved this movie. I think this is a superior entry into his filmography, and also, again, a modern horror genre. I'd give this an A-. Very tense. It does what it is meant to do. It's very masterfully crafted, and that's something pretty impressive to say for someone with such a short filmography. He hasn't been on the scene that while, and he just gets it, which is a huge achievement. I think we all voiced our opinions, but I think there's an opinion that hasn't been voiced.
Right. I received a singing telegram earlier this morning from Zach's ghost, and the ghost wanted to say that he gives Don't Breathe a B-. So
luckily,
he still enjoyed the film, but
we were able to conjure up his spirit for the audio podcast. So if you are interested in hearing his opinion, and he is a little stuffy, because Underworld will do that to you. No offense to Zach, but he's in the Underworld.
Yes, he didn't make it up there. No. So from us here at Film Therapy to you at home, we want to wish you a merry
Labor Day.
Mid-September.
Yeah.
See you in hell.